A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. A weapon? And after the convict had been killed following the elaborate pretense of the jailbreak, that document mysteriously disappeared, didn't it? Well, yes, all the prison warders searched for the belongings in his cell, but that will was just nowhere to be found. As I understand it, an exhaustive search was made for the document, which became known as the Asogi Papers. Governor Caden, I believe you ordered your prison staff to find it at all costs, didn't you? Eh? Would I be right in saying that you knew that the so-called Asogi Papers had the potential to make great waves somehow? What the blazes are you blathering about? The will was found right proper, in the fellow's cell where I said it would be. How could that be? Where in his cell? We all searched the place from top to bottom. Why didn't you do a proper job, eh? You peely-wally galoot. You can't criticize me now. I showed it to you before, did I not, young lawyer? Yes, you did. I have a document here. It's written in Japanese and reads, The Last Will and Testament of Genshin Asogi. Which means everything is as it should be. Not quite, my lord. You see, there's an undeniable inconsistency. What? What inconsistency? Mr. Asogi described this document as the only weapon he had left, and yet this will contains nothing at all. Convict any leverage. Are you suggesting, my friend, that the last will and testament stored at Barclay prison all these years is actually a fake? As has clearly been demonstrated already, what went on at Barclay prison was far from above board. That last vilification by the defense was an affront. This absurd notion of a weapon is something for which we have only the former chief warder's word. The man could quite easily be lying, at the very least, sorely mistaken. What? No! I definitely heard him say that, I swear. Clearly, we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know exactly what happened with these so-called Asogi Papers. A waste of time. If the will was fake, where is the real document?
Objection!
Mr. Vigil was stabbed in the back by the judiciary 10 years ago. He lost everything, very nearly his own life. And now you're going to do it again. You're ready to brand him a liar and turn your back on him without even letting him defend himself. It's clear that Barclay Prison's hiding something. It's clear that the jailbreak was masterminded by somebody in the prosecutor's office. It's clear that some illicit negotiations took place. Is your lordship just going to gloss over those obvious facts? What did you say? We should hear more from the chief warder. Have him testify again. The trial must go on. The man's voice must be heard. It would seem that the vocal few here are utterly blind to the truth. Very well then. Let the witness testify again. Tell the court precisely what you think you saw of the convict's last will and testament. Yes, sir, my lord. As the warden responsible for condemned convicts, I attended to Mr. Asogi and kept watch over his cell. The night after he was found guilty in court, he was doing something with that will in his cell. He turned the cell inside out looking for it after the execution, but to no avail. I only found out about the Asogi Papers when a directive came telling me to impound them. The document was in the folds of the fellow's robe and that was left in his cell. Kimono, I think it's called. In his kimono? That's a lie. We searched every inch of the man's cell. We looked through all his clothes. It can't be true. Were you not satisfied with calling me a liar the once, eh? You waffinger? Ha! There's nothing you can do about it now. You don't have any hold of me anymore. Other than the hold, you like to take my cravat, of course. Is that what you're going to do, is it? Are you going to give me a good shake again, or are you too scared? Ah! Little and large, what a double act. He complied with Asogi's will as far as was possible. All of his personal effects were delivered to his family home in Japan. As a courtesy to the homeland of the most notorious killer our country has ever seen. Oh, it's hard doing a mix of normal voice and a new mastermind version of it. And we were much obliged. I can confirm that all my father's belongings arrived safely. Aye, and you can't even deny the handwritings out of the old man, eh? Yes, there's no mistaking that it's my father's brushwork. Really? And this last will and testament was the man's last weapon, was it? I think we can safely assume that the convict was merely prattling, knowing that his end was nigh. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The Asogi papers.
Hold it!
So, would that mean that you conversed with Mr. Asogi? Yes, certainly. No. There was precious little time before his execution was due. He was remarkably calm, considering his days were very much numbered. In all honesty, he really didn't strike one as a man capable of mass murder. Yet he confessed in full to the crimes. I know. That's why I felt compelled to ask him one day. Instead of Collis reply, I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. He was so tranquil and intelligent, put me in mind of an Eastern holy man. And what about the will you saw him with? What can you tell us about that? It was the beginning of all the drama. I remember it very well, yes. The night after he was found guilty in court, he was doing something without will in himself. Oh wait.
Hold it!
And he pleaded with you not to report him, didn't he? Yes, that's right. And like the Bampot Yar, you didn't tell me. A blatant breach of trust that was. I could see that man had a noble spirit. I found myself wondering the tune accordingly. But according to what you told us 2 days ago, the convict had been strictly forbidden from having any writing materials whatsoever. Yes, you're correct. Ah! So when exactly was the will penned? That was before the man was remanded in Berkeley, obviously. Yes, at the prosecutor's office under supervision of the relevant authorities. I personally instructed Asogi to make a will for the benefit of his family in his homeland. In that case, why was it found in his cell? What do you mean by that? Well, if the will was penned at the prosecutor's office, you would have expected that I would remain there for safety if you so. Ah! It's curious. There doesn't seem to be any obvious explanation for why it was subsequently found in the convict cell. Oh, well... The defense makes me ask you to think. Well, Governor? A prison governor, can he be expected to get in the inner workings of the prosecutor's office? In that case, Lord Strongheart, perhaps you can shed some light on the matter? I won't be able to offer an explanation here and now. I would have to consult with the notary responsible for the will at the time. The fact that my father's will was discovered in his cell is clearly inconsistent with what was expected. I want to know why. Another inexplicable mystery. Well, the thing is about that will. Pretend signs are out looking for after the execution, but no.
Hold it!
Press. It was the governor who ordered the search for the will, as I understand it. Is that right? Yes, someone replied back that we couldn't find it. He grabbed me by the cravat and meowed. It can't have disappeared completely in my face. Aye, well, it's done to the governor to keep everybody working as hard as they could. I think the governor needs a wee case of his own medicine, Mr. Naruhodo. Point is, it was clearly considered a very important document, wasn't it? But it proved impossible to find. That's right. Then before I knew it, it was in the morning paper. Blood-curdling article. No introduction on that. No, we don't need any more. Yes, it's Bovia. Isn't relevant anymore. The executed mass murder who'd risen from the dead. Oh, you mean the article based on Mr. Trevor's experience in Lowgate Cemetery? I read that news. I was summoned to the governor's office, and that's when your accusation was made. Now you needed against Nosogi to escape from the prison, resulting in your immediate dismissal. I'm afraid I really don't remember anything after that. As the governor of the prison, I had no choice. I couldn't have done anything else.
Hold it!
And that directive came from the same source as the one that struck me about the jailbreak? Aye. From the top levels of the prosecutor's office. What name was on it? I didn't care for, and I didn't keep know. All I can tell you is that my powers were to do everything in my power to find that document. The directive said it had to be somewhere inside the Pair's cell. Document. Was that the wording? Document, not will. That's what it said. Like touching that source here. I just wonder if it was really Genshin Soda's last willing testament in that December that directive was after. And can you retestimony on witness?
Hold it!
In Mr. Sogi's kimono. The one he brought with him when he was locked up. Yes, he was permitted to have his personal effects with him during his incarceration, I understand. That's right, he was granted as much freedom as possible during 3 days before his execution. Indeed, he had a number of items of personal significance, I remember. He was very reluctant to part with them. Some books, that kimono, his sword. His sword? Coroner. Famous sword of the Yosogi clan. It bears the soul of my family. I don't doubt it, but I wasn't really getting at that. Again, it being the soul of the clan, could the man have had a more obvious weapon? Have some respect for Inosuke. Respect for silence. The warders carry firearms at all times, and the inmates have shackles around their ankles. They couldn't have hurt anybody with that thing. Still, he was allowed a sword, but no writing materials. He wrote that will before he came to stay with us at Barclay, you see. Dr. Mikakubo was asked to bring the necessary Japanese writing implements to the prosecutor's office. This is only inkstone, black sumi ink, and some Mahan Shirai's paper. I was present when he wrote it, but I'm sorry to say, the letters just look like a square mass of jet black earrings.
Excuse me!
Earworms? Are you feeling faint, Mr. Vigil? Mr. Vigil! Sir! It was Scarlet, sir! What? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to blow it out like that. Less swaying and more explaining would be helpful. Is there something about the testimony you just heard? Have you recalled something of importance? Something of importance? Possibly, or possibly not. I'm unable to tell which way he's leaning, I'm afraid. My lord, the defense asks that Mr. Vigil be permitted to supplement his testimony with this possibly, or possibly not important. Go ahead, Mr. Vigil. Yes, it was Scarlet. As I remember it, the document was written in scarlet ink, but perhaps I'm mistaken. Scarlet ink, huh? Scarlet ink.
Objection!
Scarlet-coloured writing is what you said you thought you saw, Mr. Vigil. I believe that's exactly what you did see. What? Have it again! You've no evidence to say that. Have a look at this report. That's my brother's autopsy report. Yes, and there's something in here that's bothered me since I first read it. It states that scarlet-coloured ink stains were noted on the fingers of the victim's right hand. Yes, so it does. Scarlet ink? No, I'm not familiar with the habits of the British aristocracy, I freely admit. I would hazard to guess that they don't all go around with ink stains on their fingertips, do they? No! Your wit is not appreciated. My brother was a well-bred and fastidious man. Should the ink have sullied his fingertips, he would have cleaned them immediately. What is your point, counsel? My point is this. Whatever Lord Clint von Zieks was writing in that unusually coloured ink, it must have been directly before his death, as he died before he had the opportunity to clean his hand. What? I remember something troubled me at the time. And the scene the lid of my brother's inkwell was open. But Clint was punctilious about such things. It seemed unusual. And no document penned in the colour of the ink that was in the inkwell was ever found. So the document had disappeared. Are you suggesting that the document my father had in his hand that night in his cell was the same document that Lord Clint von Zieks was writing moments before his death? And then it was... If Mr. Vigil's testimony is to be believed, it can only mean that, yes. Mr. Vigil! Sir! When you spotted Mr. Sogi with the document in his cell, his precise words were as follows, were they not? Alright then, but what's on that paper? A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. A last will and testament? Ah! If the conversation really did go as Mr. Vigil says, then what we now know completely changes the meaning of what Mr. Sogi said. You really think? Mr. Vigil did indeed see the convict with a will, but it wasn't that of Genshin Sogi. It was the last will and testament of Lord Clint von Zieks. No! What?
Objection!
This is madness. My brother's last will and testament. That would mean that he had chosen to die. That is what it would mean, yes. No, impossible. That is utterly out of question. Lord von Zieks. Clint was pursuing the Professor. He consumed him day and night. Whatever happened, he would never have abandoned his investigation before its conclusion. Never. He wouldn't rest until the job was done, until the killer was caught. The idea that he would willingly accept his own death.
Objection!
And yet, we can be sure that he was writing his will moments before his death. And that Genshin Sogi came to be in possession of that document. So what could the will possibly have contained? Clearly something that could be made public under any circumstances whatsoever. Because under that document, my father was able to negotiate with the judiciary for his life. It was something so daring that it prompted the powers that be to enact that daring jailbreak plot. Yes, there can be no question that the will contained information of the utmost secrecy. Information of the utmost secrecy? Ah! No, it couldn't be. I've heard more than enough. Pursuing this notion of a phantom when nobody can attest to having seen serves absolutely no purpose. No, my lord. That's unacceptable. What did you say, counsel? The last will and testament that Genshin Sogi had in his possession was that of Lord Clint von Zieks. All the testimony and evidence presented to the court has logically led us to that as a possibility. We have a duty to pursue the line of reasoning to its conclusion, but with no possible means of knowing the contents of the document, there is no line of reasoning to pursue. The reason why Lord Clint von Zieks, a man of high and noble standing, would have chosen death. Because he's the Reaper, and regrets his actions. That's all I can think. Information so secret, people in the judiciary will be willing to negotiate the jailbreak of a condemned killer. The only explanation that fits those facts. There's an unthinkable truth that turns absolutely everything on its head. But it's just too hideous. Miss Naruhodo, however difficult the situation might become, you work with your client in pursuit of the truth. That's what you resolved to do when you entered the courtroom this morning, if I'm not mistaken. Miss Usato. So hold your head high and keep soldiering on. Yes, you're right. 10 years ago, in his final moments, Lord Clint von Zieks left behind a will. A will that Genshin Sogi was able to use as a weapon to negotiate his escape from prison. In all probability, the details in the will were related to the Professor case. The defense's last statement is mere conjecture. What are you getting at, man? Inosuke? As soon as these words come out of my mouth, there's no going back. I believe that last will and testament of Lord Clint von Zieks was in fact a confession. You can do this, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe that what Lord Clint von Zieks actually penned that day was a confession. Yeah, because why else would he have been giving it to Genshin when he was willing to die? A confession? Regarding the mass murderer known as the Professor and his Trojan.
Objection!
Enough, Counsel. What are you saying? Do you even realize? A confession about the true identity of the Professor? That would mean... Lord von Zieks, I appreciate this must be hard to take in, but it's the only explanation that fits. The killer that terrorized London a decade ago and became known as the Professor, the man believed to have murdered 5 members of the aristocracy, wasn't Genshin Sogi at all. No! You can't be suggesting... It was, in fact, a man believed to have been the 5th victim. Lord Clint von Zieks himself. It's finally open, is it? Those balls. The great von Zieks family, they've been in thoroughbreds of the British judiciary for years. Lord Clint von Zieks, he was a paragon of justice in the capital. He was actually a mass murderer? A perpetrator of atrocities of the vilest nature? If the general public ever found out, law and order in this country would be finished. My brother. Oh, this is too awful. Poor Lord von Zieks. I wonder, did you never suspect? Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Baroque von Zieks is a brilliant prosecutor. Is it conceivable that he didn't realize what his older brother really was? Order! Order! Order in court. I'm not trying to cover his ass. Lord von Zieks. The Professor made use of an enormous hound as his murder weapon. Tell me, did your brother own a dog? Yes, he did. Balmung was a well-known hunting dog. People called him a giant. I don't believe this. My brother would go hunting in the forest of behind the house. He always took Balmung. After Clint's death, the creature passed away too. Almost as if he were following his master. He was a magnificent hunting dog. God, it's making my eyes water. I cough made my eyes water. was a magnificent hunting dog, worthy of a jewel-studded collar around his neck. Jewel-studded collar. That's right. Well, sadly, some years ago now, he was stolen by a thief who broke into a house one night. A jewel-studded collar stolen by a thief. It so happens that myself and my colleagues have come across such a collar during our time in London. How could you? There was no emblem attached to the collar too, made of pure gold. It was topped with a small crown and bore an ornate capital letter B. What? An emblem bearing the initial B? Oh my, you know it? It's the insignia of the Baskerville family. What? The Baskerville? Why is that name coming up now? Baskerville is the family name of my late brother's widow. That pure gold emblem was an heirloom which Clint acquired upon their marriage. There can be no doubt then. The collar you described was Balmung's. The family insignia of Lord Clint von Zeke's widow. There was a considerable amount of blood on the collar when we saw it, since we know the dog was used for hunting. It could have been from its quarry, of course. But it could equally have been from human prey. So is it true then? Clint von Zeke's really was the professor? Impossible! These Japanese are making it all up to exonerate their own. So in fact, the person responsible for these murders of nobles and royals was the noble himself. And that threatened to be an enormous scandal that would irrevocably destabilize British society. My father knew that, and was using it to negotiate his way out of the unjust charges brought against him. At the very last hour, those he'd bargained with betrayed him, slaying him mercilessly on foreign soil. Well, can he deny it, Lord Strongheart? 10 years have passed, and still now the 6 million inhabitants of our great capital rest easy, believing that justice was done. Now, though his anonymity remains, diabolical murder was caught and executed. Very well then, you may have the truth. Tell me then, tell me what Clint really was. Lord Clint von Zeeks was too pure heart. When he became a prosecutor and went in pursuit of black roots of crime, he drove himself into a corner. He came to the uncomfortable realization that to fight the most fiendish of criminals requires one to become even more fiendish oneself. Clint. The 19th century was a truly miraculous 100 years for Great Britain, and indeed the whole world. New industry, new technology, and with the birth of the metropolitan police service, new law and order. These dazzling new developments meant even deeper shadows were cast on society. Water sullied by factories, and a thick noxious fumes and crime, going daily to fill the darkness. Lord Clint von Zeeks made it his mission to combat that darkness. As time went on, it slowly ate off his soul until eventually it was consumed. It's ironic. Now the truth has once again been unearthed by a Japanese. Once again? What do you mean? 10 years ago, your father, Henshin Sogi, turned up at my office one night. The professor! Yes, beyond all shadow of doubt. She must issue a warrant to search his home at once. Don't be absurd! The man comes from one of our country's most illustrious families. He's a paragon of justice in the capital. Yes, that's the point. That's why none of you British can see it. He's using his noble status as a diversion whilst he commits these atrocious crimes behind the scenes. Do you have evidence? Do you have evidence? Nothing definitive as yet, but he keeps an enormous savage hound on the estate. You need the pulse of the judiciary for this. We're up against a member of the aristocracy. It's a large family estate as a fierce god. You should know that's commonplace in Britain. Is it? I only know because I'm a cat person. I'm sorry, I couldn't possibly put Scotland Yard onto this based on tenuous accusation of visiting students. So I turned down Sophie's plea. As a result, he took it upon himself and visited the Von Zieg's mansion on his own. I can only imagine now what happened between the two men. Don't we know the outcome, of course? Lord Clint Von Zieg's perished. I don't believe this. So, in actual fact, Cosmo Salmon's father did... He made the late Lord Von Zieg's meet the same fate? He put a permanent end to the Professor killings? By taking the drastic measure of ending the perpetrator's life? As soon as I heard, I hurried to the mansion. When I arrived, it was easy to grasp what had happened. And what about the will? So you must have already taken it. Nothing of that nature was found at the scene. I had no idea of the existence of such a document at the time. I was the only person who knew the true identity of the Professor, so I resolved to keep it a secret and to guard the secret to the bitter end. So you're admitting to it, that you were behind it all. It was you then who pinned the crimes on my father. I did what needed to be done in order to protect the law and order of the British Empire, even if that meant employing an unforgivable ruse. Then it was you who arranged this fabricated evidence. I ordered that detective to take care of it. I was keeping the truth from him, naturally. Gregson? Obviously, he opposed me at first. Are you off your rocker? We can't do something like that. There's no question that was a soldier who murdered Lord Von Zieks. House staff were made arrangements that they saw the man in the mansion that night. Yes, well, I've no doubt that's obvious. We haven't got a shred of conclusive evidence against the man. God, my voice is full. Somehow it's gotten worse. Still, it's changed since I found out, since True Colours from. I'm short on time, Gregson. You must put a stop to this man's rampage for the good of the country. So we'll use whatever means necessary. Do I make myself clear, detective? Blimey. So that night, 10 years ago, when I was attacked by those thugs in the back streets, and Genshin's ring was taken, it was him, was it? That was Gregson and some hired help. And the detective handed the stolen ring to Dr. Wilson, who feigned this discovery from the victim's stomach during the autopsy. And in light of that decisive evidence, Mr. Sophie was found guilty of the charges brought against him. However, behind the scenes, he had actually already struck a deal with his accusers, in which he agreed to silently accept the charges. But I just don't believe that. As far as I knew the man, my father despised such underhand dealings. It was extremely easy to make him comply. You see, he had one crippling weakness. What weakness? Isn't it obvious? You have no Sophie. Me? Perhaps you have no desire to return to your homeland, Sophie? What? No, I hear you have a 14-year-old son. Agreed to cooperate and accept your guilt without contention. And you will see Japan and your son again. You scoundrel! Whether you choose wisely or not, it will be a closed trial by order of Her Majesty, so whatever rash claims you might make in court, you'll have no trouble in stifling them. There's only one outcome for you, Sergei. The gallows. Don't forget that I still have a weapon at my disposal. Document revealing the truth, and I know you're desperate to keep hidden. Yes, it hadn't escaped my mind, which is the only reason I'm willing to bargain with you. I only want to protect this country's law and order. You understand? Damn it. So, what's it to be, Sergei? Kazuma! He did it for me? And as I told him at the time, my motive was simply to protect Britain from the damage the truth would do. To protect this country's law and order at any cost.
Objection!
I've never dared let myself even consider this possibility until now. But in light of all this treachery, I have to ask. The mastermind behind the Reaper of the Bailey. Was it you, Lord Miles Strongheart? Maelstrom. I have a brilliant idea, wouldn't you say, Lord Barry von Zeeks? That the spirit of your late brother, that paragon of justice, should return to reap justice for his sibling. Couldn't there be a more appetizing tale for London's masses, I ask you? What reason? I knew that you'd played a part of perfection, but your role really wasn't that of some embodiment of death. No, you were London's guardian angel. An angel with bloody hands? I think not. Those who had cooperated with me already were only too happy to participate in my plan. Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, my minions worked tirelessly to ensure that the finger of guilt could never come to rest on you. It's all thanks to them that you were exalted as a demigod the Reaper became. But Dr. Wilson left Britain 4 years ago when he was invited to work in Japan. That's right. So I had to employ the services of his young protege after that, Dr. Courtney Sythe. Dr. Sythe saw with the execution of the Professor and the subsequent reign of the Reaper of Bailey, have successfully safeguarded law and order in our mighty capital for the past decade. That is everything. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, I do hereby confess it was I who sired the concept of the Reaper. However, let me say in my defense, it was all for the preservation of law and order across the entire empire. Lord Strongheart did it. An unforgivable collection of crimes, but still, all those who died at the Reaper's hand were rotten to the core anyway. It was all in aid of keeping London safe. There is no one left now who can reveal the precise truth of what happened 10 years ago. Therefore, this trial can go no further. Now, I would like to entreat all those present. Beyond these 4 walls, nobody need know the truth. Even Her Majesty must be protected from this. I trust you all appreciate the importance of my request. It is, of course, for the good of the country. Good of the country? You mean good for yourself? Can he do this? Can the trial really end now? I have one last question for the accused, Lord von Zeeks. What? Of course, I know that you're a highly accomplished prosecutor, so I find it hard to believe that you didn't have any doubts at all. That you never suspected your brother. Yes, the same thought occurred to me. It was only once, but yes, I couldn't say that I never had my doubts. My brother's sense of justice was extremely strong, perhaps too strong, I observed. At that time, the members of the aristocracy were bleeding the country dry for their own gain. Since they were nobles, they were untouchable. For my brother, it was a source of great turmoil. And coincidentally, at the same time, the press began its terrifying reign. During the time when the press was, my brother did not appear to be himself. And that made you suspect? Yes. Really? Clint wasn't the culprit. That was my conclusion at the time. And I still believe that now. Do you have any evidence to support that idea? The third victim was Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor. That will do. Neither Clint von Zieks nor Genshin Asogi still walk this earth. However much we debate in this matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. But there are only two extant pieces of evidence from the time. The woe-begone ring that acted as incriminating evidence condemned Genshin Asogi, and the 3-page last will and testament penned in black ink and left behind by the man. The wretched truth of what happened is exactly as I have explained. Later today, I will present myself at the Ministry of Justice wherever sanction is deemed appropriate. That is all. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Thank you, Kazuma. Me? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made this 11th hour discovery. What discovery? My lord, I'm afraid I must insist the trial continues. I beg your pardon. As the court has been reminded today already, we must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. And to that end, one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago revealed a very subtle contradiction. Von Zieks, because he mentioned... What contradiction? But all I did was ask the accused one simple question. Well, it began with Lord Von Zieks and his recollection about his brother. Lord Strongheart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length. I merely pointed out that we can draw no further useful conclusions here, so I don't know if it's a contradiction. One of them definitely just said something contradictory. It's time to identify who. It was Lord Von Zieks, I'm sure of it. Something about what he said was just a little jarring. Yeah, because he mentioned that one of the victims was his friend and mentor. Oh, me knows, Kate. Go over again. Find it. Clint wasn't the culprit, and that was my conclusion at the time. The third victim was Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor. Lord Von Zieks, would you care to explain what exactly am I supposed to make of those pitiful Nipponese eyes? When you were recounting the information about your brother and the third victim just now, something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence we have. Inconsistent? Even though inconsistency arose from words out of the defendant's mouth, we have a duty here to pursue an explanation. What are you playing at? I fail to see the defense's attention here, but clearly the court cannot ignore this new development. What evidence is inconsistent with the defendant's words? This is probably gonna be wrong.
Take that!